Well, I was born in a small town, and I live in a small town.
It's another morning at the Wyman family farm in Bridgewater, a 50-year-old, third-generation business that will cease operating next year because of a federal program designed to cut dairy surpluses by slaughtering 1.6 million cows, heifers, and calves. The program is called Whole Herd Buyout, and it does just that. It allows farmers who choose to participate to sell their livestock to the government for prices as high as $22.50 per 100 pounds of milk, based on last year's production. And those farmers involved in the buyout plan cannot go back into the dairy business for at least 5 years.
We won't get back into anything here 5 years from now. Whether other farms in the area would get back in, I couldn't answer for them. But of course it makes me feel bad to see the countryside change, to see this open land just disappear. There should have been some provision made to do something with this land to keep it off the market for development for the 5-year period at least. Because once people lay down a piece of blacktop, they don't very often tear it up to plant corn again.
At issue here is more than the fate of agriculture. There is culture itself to consider. In this case, a small Massachusetts community where a state highway begins and ends, and where a family plows a lifetime of sweat and memories into the land.
It was a way of life more than anything else. We made a good living on it. We all survived. We raised our families. At this point, the next generation has altogether different opportunities than what we had growing up, and I think that they can find a much better life for themselves on the outside than you can on the farm today.
Robert Wyman and his twin brother Richard still work on the farm, along with their younger brother Arthur, their mother Sarah, and their 71-year-old father Saul.
Never been a dull moment for us. It's well, I said the other day, I think that my wife and I have been blessed and have actually had a nicer life than most people are entitled to have.
When we started, there was about 5 acres, not even that, just this half of this field back here. And at one time, they even hooked themselves up to a plow and plowed it, if I remember.
Well, this is the area that we use for what we call our tail enders.
During the next 15 months, the face of Massachusetts agriculture will undergo dramatic change, as 66 farmers here sell off some 10,555 animals and turn a substantial portion of their more than 6,000 acres of farmland over to industrial and residential development. The Wymans are already taking bids from developers. The buyout will benefit them, but they are concerned that most communities are not prepared for what happens when prime farmland becomes prime real estate.
When they see a lot of development go into any particular community, they think that, wow, there's a house that's worth, $200,000, and look at all the money the town's going to collect. But they don't seem to realize that this house that's worth $200,000 is probably paying somewhere around $2,500 a year in taxes. And that $2,500 has to go to educate 2 or 3 children, and it costs about, I think, $1,500 to $2,000 a piece to educate each child. Then you've still got the police department and the fire department and the water department and the highway department. So these houses, every time you see one of these houses go up, it's costing the community money. They're not making a dime on them.
I think the biggest reason these programs are put on us is because of politics. The public wants cheap food. They're used to having cheap food, and the politicians are going to see to it that they have cheap food. And as long as there's a supply, nobody can say that the politicians are doing the wrong thing.
For now, it's business as usual for the Wymans. The last cow of their herd, which once numbered 500, will be sent to slaughter next August.
It's going to be an awful empty feeling when we get up in the morning and take a look out here and don't see any more cows. But still, it's going to be an awful good feeling to know that you don't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to milk them.
The cows come first, and that's about the way that's always been. And
The cows come first?
the
You
cows
say?
come first. If the cows need water, I don't wash. That's all. That's about what it matters, you know. And it's still, as today is the same thing. I mean, if they should come in and say the water isn't running freely, I just shut everything down. And the washing waits, the dishwasher waits, everything waits. But,
When you got married, is that what you were looking forward to?
well, when I got married, I didn't know what I was getting into. Let's put it that way. But every year has been better than the last, and that's what's important.
Without agriculture, there's no country. And a lot of our people don't recognize that fact. If you don't have any agriculture, you just don't have any country.
Thank you.
For the 10 o'clock news, I'm Marcus Jones.